Hey Internets, it's Jake from Miniature Rain Domain, and this is Dawnbringers, Heart of Nightfang Spire, Season 4, Episode 8. This episode is entitled 3 Floors Down, and this is our regular campaign happening every Thursday night right here on twitch.tv/Miniature Rain Domain, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, every Thursday. As you may have noticed already, there is a dark spot in our heart of the a dark spot in our heart of the Nightfang Spire, where Dan should be. Dan should be along shortly, but we're going to go ahead and get started without him. So there's going to come a point in the not too distant future where we're going to have to jumble some cameras real quick. And get everybody back into their proper places. So, welcome everybody. I'm going to do a couple of quick announcements, and then we're going to get going in the game. Announcements are going to be really quick today because if you look down at the bottom of the stream, you'll see we got a little something different. All of our sponsor and partner logos are tied up down in the bottom there along the left-hand, right-hand side. And in the middle, the new scroll that will be rotating through all of our usual information, including the, what are they called? Domain dice. Jeez, which reminds me, I need to add a domain die because we had a subscription once we were going there. Bing. I know that just made you extra happy, V, being able to interact with the domain dice. It's like being in a weird version of Foursquares, or what was it called? Hollywood Squares. Hollywood Squares. Yeah. Whoa. See, I'm pushing all kinds of wrong buttons. So we're gonna get into this real quick. Oh man. But yeah, all the usual information about domain dice and everything else is contained within that information bar. But domain dice, Tamiko's already put the chat command in there. Domain dice is our way to let you have a bit of a action part. Good. All right, we're gonna take this from the top. Not quite the top. I think I've had an okay day. I'm just extra excited to play today. It's our way to let you have a say in what happens in the game. For every $5 donation, every 500 bits you cheer, subscriptions, resubscriptions, and raids, a domain die will be earned. That will allow the players to re-roll them according to what you see in the chart there. They can re-roll, they can make me re-roll, all the way up to 5 domain dice being spent for a super crit, which is an automatic double max damage critical hit. But they can only do that through your generosity. You can see that they're sitting under 115 domain dice right now because of the generosity of the audience. Looking down there along the bottom, the usual partners are there. There is a chat command for each of those, starting with Jasper. Jasper's Game Day, we are partnered with a wonderful organization dedicated to the education about and elimination of suicide through tabletop gaming. That link that is popped up in the chat, you can click on and donate directly to them to help fund things like the National Suicide Hotline, and the crisis centers around the country. You can type in an !coffee to see how you can get yourself some Metadare roast coffee. For every 12-ounce bag that you purchase, $3 of that is going to benefit Jasper's Game Day. We also have on there our sponsor partner, Talon and Claw. You can type !sponsor to see some information about them. Talon Claw are makers of fine dice trays, DM screens, and other accessories. I know they make some wooden dice. Great selection of Pride vaults, soon to be representing all the various Pride flags. and you can pre-order your Whiskey Barrel Dice Vault at the second link in there. But the real thing that's cool about this is when you go there and you inevitably place an order, because why wouldn't you? It's really awesome stuff. You can use code MTDClaw at checkout and get 10% off your order. And I'll be very excited. I believe next week's game, I will be able to actually show you my stuff. It's finally coming. I've been waiting for quite a while for some... Yes, I just realized phrasing. You didn't even have to say it, and I could see Jeremy and V's face light up. I said, I will show you my stuff. I'm going to let it stand. I will show you my stuff next week. You guys. Oh, man. So, yeah, the other thing I just want to say is a thank you to D&D Beyond, who has granted us insider access. You should be able to mouse over the stream, see the character overlays, and you can see what they're playing, see who they're playing, what they've got going on. And I'm running all of my D&D games using D&D Beyond. With that, I think I've touched on all of the announcements except the last one that we always want to take a minute to emphasize, and that is, no matter where you are, no matter what you're going through, and whether or not you believe it, you matter. Your presence on this earth makes a difference. That is why anytime you need help, you can come to Mini Terrain Domain. Whether we're on air, off air, doesn't matter. Come to the chat. You can type !help, as has already been done in chat. And a handful of numbers and text lines will pop up. There's a website link in there that will also take you to resources from around the country. But that first number there, if you need help, do not hesitate for any of these, whichever one is applicable to you. Do not hesitate, because there's no reason to. There's help waiting for you. In the United States, you can call the National Suicide Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255, or you can text 741-741. If you are an active duty military or a veteran, you can press the number 1, and you'll be connected with a military specialized counselor. Please do not hesitate to use those resources that have been made available for you if you need them. And now I think we're just about ready to play some D&D, but first, let's play Scramble the Cameras. And it's going to get weird for a second.
Wait, did you say it's going to get weird? It's already weird.
I know. I know, it's gotten all kinds of weird.
I'm in the wrong spot.
Yep. So, everybody but Scotty, shut down your cameras real quick.
Oh, fine.
And then, well, actually, Dan, you could have left yours on. But you can turn yours back on.
Did you?
It was perfectly timed, Dan. We just finished the announcements.
Hooray!
And then Cantriel, or V, either one.
I answered to both.
M, Ted.
I mean, I do.
And the Ham.
Hi!
All right. Dan, if you didn't get a chance to listen in at all, I executed a flawless intro. I did not stumble over my words. I had no Freudian slips.
He's going to show us his stuff.
Everything went perfectly. And I announced that I'll be showing my stuff next week, apparently. So
letting it
be sure you don't miss that. Oh, I'm going to feel so bad having this kind of mirth and then killing somebody tonight. All right. Are we ready to play some Dungeons and Dragons? So, as I said, this episode is entitled 3 Floors Down. Though technically you're only 2 floors down, having traversed through the first 2 levels of the Nightfang Spire, encountering a few vampire spawn, briefly encountering a mummified monk who you dispatched in short order. You did encounter, of course, prior to that, a very unique tapestry that pulled some of you into it. The tapestry was decorated with images of draconic cultists worshipping in the plane of fire outside of the city of Brass, while a massive Chardalon swooped in the distance. Drown, Thorgarn, and why am I blinking? It was Cantriel. Were pulled into the tapestry and were immediately set upon by the cultists, and they were very nearly killed by the cultists and the approaching Chardalon. But Griveth was able to resist and then dispel the magic enough that, with the help of the others, was able to pull those that were trapped inside out. In the aftermath, they all were met with visions from their past, seeing familiar faces, reliving situations. And then they came to as their research assistant companion Yesha had snapped them out of it, saying that they had been staring at the tapestry for 8 hours. The benefit of that, of course, was that they did gain a long rest. But at what cost, they're not sure. Continuing through is where the towers, where they encountered a room full of sarcophagi, and being the Dawnbringers, they had to open every single last sarcophagus. And that's where they met the mummified monk, 3 whites that got away, or specters, I think they were actually. The whites were earlier in the session before. They decided before proceeding the rest of the way that it would be in their best interest to take a short rest. They backtracked a few rooms, and that is where we're going to pick up as you are in the midst of or completing your short rest. Dawnbringers, what would you like to do?
Not look at more sarcophagi?
Realize I put my chat window in front of my unmute button. Yes.
I'm pretty sure we're going to have to look at more sarcophagi before this is through.
Sarcophagi are the new doors, aren't they?
Could be.
Oh, good.
I mean, technically it's kind of one and the same, really. I mean, the lids are kind of basically doors.
Yes, but one takes you to another place and the other one just takes you to a box.
Well, some of them actually led to rooms.
Yeah, and depending on your beliefs, they still take you to another place.
No, there were some that had like the hidden passageways to actual rooms.
Fair.
So my crazy cousin.
But there is an actual door in the next hallway, is there not?
I never thought I'd say this, but I hope so.
That appears to be our way forward.
Into the door.
So you are currently resting in this room. The tiled room up here is where all of the sarcophagi were, and this right here is the door that leads up into the next area. So are you rested and continuing on your way then? All right. So you are able to backtrack through the couple of rooms back into the long hall full of now open or partially open sarcophagi. and you are standing before a door on the north wall, but on the far eastern side of the tower.
Talmud.
Aye,
Do what you do best.
of course. He's going to kind of turn and make his way to the front.
And here I thought he was going to get out some alcohol.
No, that's second best.
Oh, okay. Hear that? Cantriel thinks you're better at opening doors than drinking.
It's because she doesn't know how to drink.
Or maybe I know better than you.
Not with that stuff you drink.
What? And that stuff you drink is considered drinking?
Aye, that's how I got to be like I am. He got like beats his chest.
You've just explained everything. You realize that, right?
I don't follow.
More than he knows, Cantriel. More than he knows.
See? Your cousin agrees with me.
So, door? He kind of
Door.
just gestures that direction. Then I'll get back to it.
Excellent.
So what are you going to do with the door? You're going to open it? You're going to check it? You're going to kick it in?
Talmud doesn't check doors.
No, he doesn't.
Jake.
All right.
He's going to open it.
You open the door. It opens inward toward a little bit more than 5 feet hallway that goes on for about 15 feet before turning sharply to the left. Is your plan to just lead the way, letting everybody through and kind of leading them down this hall?
Is it dark in the hallway?
It is. Pretty
Can
much.
I pat? Sorry.
Yep, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just gonna pat Talmud on his head, and then like quickly. Who do you have out? Do you have any of your either of your weapons?
I would imagine probably Ghost Cleaver right now.
Tap Ghost Cleaver and cast a light on it.
All right. And Griveth, I think you had stated that you were keeping Dawnbringer out. So there's light near the back or wherever Griveth is as well. And you had said that you were keeping it at full illumination. So there's an extra 30 feet of sunlight from that spilling in. Although until Cantriel put this light on your Ghost Cleaver, Talmud, there was all these shadows kind of dancing around. But now you can see that this hallway is pretty much like most of this tower has been. Stone floors, stone walls. Like I said, it goes for about 15 feet and then turns sharply to the left.
I would recommend, just tapping at the stone a little bit here and there. There was that nasty pitfall that nearly got me. Just pointing that out.
Yeah, you're probably right. Fine. He kind of takes the lit large axe and starts to use the bottom of the haft of it to kind of poke at some of the stones. And the first couple might kind of actually be where he's kind of turning his face away and kind of like extending his arms as much as he can. But I would imagine it very quickly is going to grow lax if he doesn't find anything nice.
Yeah, the first couple tiles, like you said, you just sort of dunk, 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 dunk. Yeah, go ahead and give me an investigation check, or a perception check. And I'll let you do it at advantage, because of Thorgarn's warning and your use of Ghost Cleaver.
It don't matter because I rolled a 20.
Oh.
You rolled a 20?
Yes, sir. Yep.
On your third tap, you notice that the section of the floor, one of the floor tiles has a bit of a give to it. As you put a little bit more weight into it, it starts to swing downward. And you realize you have discovered a spring-loaded trapdoor. There is enough room to maneuver around it. It's basically sort of right in this area of the where the whole thing turns around. So you have enough room to kind of take that turn on the inside, a little close to the wall. No special checks needed because you've identified it.
Yeah, and I think he'll probably like produce probably a copper piece out of his pouch, and he's gonna kind of like scratch it into the corner of that stone, just so that it kind of marks it a little, so that everybody can see it as they're coming through, and he's gonna pass the word back.
Okay. So everybody's been made aware that there is another trap there. Looking to the left, you see a tunnel that goes for about 60 or 70 feet, or not, rather a hallway, not tunnel. Goes for about 60 or 70 feet to the west before ending. And all along the wall, spaced about every 10 feet or so on the north wall, are the Dawnbringers' favorite thing, doors. No, that's your second favorite thing, sarcophagi. So there is a door as you go around the corner. There is a door pretty much right there on the north. And then there's another door 10 feet down, another door 15 feet down, and another door 10 feet beyond that.
We have a fairly long train, so I'm going to go all the way down to the end, just kind of inspecting the doors just by sight, just as we're passing, just to make sure that none of them are, busted in or, something out of the ordinary. And that way we're all in the hallway, basically, by the time that I reach the end of it. Then I kind of turn around and look at everybody like...
The second to the last door, so the third door down, is different than the other doors. The door to this chamber it's made of stone, but the entire door has been carved with skulls, spikes, tentacles, eyes, and mouths.
That's probably fine.
There are inscribed above the door draconic runes.
What do they say?
So Cantriel makes her way down to decipher the runes, and you see the words, Ogunan Sathar is interred here. Only fools pass this threshold. And
It's an open invitation.
And Cantriel, with your high passive perception,
Yes.
as you're standing there reading this, do you read it aloud or do you read it to yourself?
When is she ever quiet?
Right. As you finish reading it, you hear, coming seemingly from the door,
Don't do that again.
and you hear whispering in Draconic coming from the door.
Does everyone hear it, or is it just me?
I would say at this point Talmud would hear it, being close by the door, and then if anybody else approaches that door, or is anybody checking the other two doors you passed on the way, or are you all heading for this mysterious door?
Since I picked up, this sword, it's kind of a novelty for me to read a new language or hear a new language. So he is, Thorgarn has been a little intrigued by, reading or hearing Draconic. So he would definitely be interested as well.
I almost picture Thorgarn walking up after Cantriel has already read it aloud to everybody and just going, "Ah, yes, Ogun Sathar rests here." Just kind of reiterating it.
That's what I said.
Right, but I can read it now.
That's good.
All right, so yeah, anybody who approaches the door, you can hear the whispering coming from the other side of the door.
And what does it, kind of say or translate into?
The whispering?
Yeah.
You hear Ogunan Sathar quite a lot. You hear mixed messages of do not enter, stay away, and other messages that say come inside. You also hear more than once the name Gulthias.
What is it saying about Gulthias?
Getting a lot of mixed messages from this door.
Yeah. I mean, it really is. In one breath, the whispers will say, all hail and praise Gulthias. And then in the next breath, you'll hear, Gulthias is the bastard son. Gulthias is not the one. If it's legitimately bothering you, V, I will stop whispering.
It's fine. It just makes me like my skin crawl like shotgun nails on a chalkboard. I'll handle it.
I'll make a deal with you. I won't whisper anymore if you don't do that voice that sounded weirdly like my Aunt Carol. Whatever you just did, it's fine. It sounded like my Aunt Carol. You don't do that, I won't whisper anymore. I'll just use the phrase, in whispers you hear.
Okay, I can't promise things because sometimes the voices just come out.
Well, now I have to meet Aunt
I've
Carol.
never heard that one. I've never heard that
That's
one
what I
from you.
mean.
It was interesting.
Like I said, they just come out sometimes. Hi.
But yes, you do hear literally mixed messages coming from this door. And Cantriel, I would actually say you and you alone realize that some of the voices seem further away. Like they're not necessarily coming from the door. They're probably coming from the other side of the door.
Anyone else hearing the other voices? Not you, Talmud.
I can hear something. I can't make any of it out.
And
It's
only you and Thorgarn can make out the actual phrases that they're saying.
It's
I mean,
go away, come in. Please come in. Please go away. Never again. Come back. Something about Gulthias being the bastard, which I already agree with.
but they're also talking about worshiping Gulthias as well.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So nothing we need listen to.
I don't like the idea of potentially leaving an enemy at our backs, or the possibility of a potential ally in here as well. It seems dangerous to go in, but it seems dangerous to leave it alone.
Do any of you think that something is mystically locked in here, or?
I would say
I think it's safe.
that-
Yes. Yeah.
I suspect it's the resting place of Ogun and Sathar.
I know
Side
this.
note, I have a story about this door that I'll tell the Dawnbringers after the game.
Oh dear God.
So this is someone in particular's tomb. It sounds like perhaps somebody very famous.
I'm sorry. Someone in particular, like the others weren't tombs.
Well, I mean,
But this guy gets his own door, as opposed to
Thorgarn understands.
That's actually a good point. Is there any chance that someone recognizes the name?
I mean, I guess there's a chance.
Drown's not from here, so probably no chance for him. But I don't know. Like if it was something relevant to Cantriel's book about the dragon cult.
Oh yes, I could check. I have a history. I am a sage after all.
Quite
You
learned.
what?
I have a sage background.
not have guessed that one.
Me either.
Shocker.
Go ahead.
Father was like a. Uh-huh. Go ahead, Ann.
Go ahead and make a history check.
Book that she read give her advantage here.
Oh yeah. Your
okay.
sorry, yes.
Okay.
Your book that you have grants you advantage on these kinds of things.
I look in my book and I get a 19.
Ogun Sathar is a name that was mentioned among some of the high draconic priests that served Gulthias in the cult of Ashardalon. there's not a whole lot on him. Not much of the text is given to any particulars, with the exception, with the exception of Gulthias. Nobody has an entry quite like him, but Ogunnen is mentioned as one of the chief high priests that served Gulthias.
Well, this seems to be one of the higher ups in Gulthias's inner circle.
See?
Which
He's famous.
which probably also means powerful undead.
Most likely, yes.
Well, that's why we brought you and Griveth.
Me.
Not you. He kind of gives Cantriel this look like, really?
What am I gonna do besides hit it?
What about the thing around your neck? He kind of like touches his holy symbol with like his big fat finger.
Yeah, I don't really do that.
And why do you carry it?
Because I believe in Moradin.
All right.
Give me
Look,
other things.
there's probably a lot of really nice, valuable things in there. Things to make it worth our while here.
That are cursed.
Well, I mean that's possible, but I mean lots of things in here could be cursed. And we wouldn't know yet.
Well, there's one way to find out.
Hand it to you.
Yes.
All right. Are we going to disturb this tomb or not?
Sure, why not? I'll do it.
Lovely.
Should we look at the door first?
I was going to.
All right, so you're gonna do what?
I'm going to look at the door to see if it's got anything funky about it.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Okay. That is a 16.
Looking.
Do I die, Jake?
Looking the door over, you can tell that it is locked.
Yasha. It's another one.
Right, Tia? Oh,
It's locked.
oh, good. And she says that not in a sarcastic way. She seems to genuinely be happy to be helpful. As she opens up her journal and pulls out her lockpicks. And
As she pulls them out and steps, I guess, up to the door, I say, just hold on a moment, and I just basically place my hand over the tools, and I will cast guidance.
all right. And guidance does
Adds a D4.
yes, okay. All right. Hold on. That's up. Forgot to open hers. Okay. So she's rolling. And that's good. Okay. So that is a 9 on the die plus a 4 on the guidance, so that makes it a 13. So she gets a dirty 20 on her lockpicking, and you hear, as she starts fiddling around, you hear a click, and she goes, whew, and then she goes, oh shit, and she sort of pushes you, Thorgarn and Cantriel, pushes back against you suddenly, and she's going to make a dexterity saving throw, and that is going to be a 13. She's going to fail her dexterity saving throw, not on purpose, but as she
Did you add my bonus?
Oh, that's right. She gets a +3 for being within 10 feet of you as well. That will make it a save, so she will only take half damage. So let's see.
Freaking paladins, man.
17. So she takes 8 points of lightning damage as she jumps back, and you see electricity arc out of the lock and just sort of launch into her through the tools that she held in her hand. You see her hair is already just kind of standing on end a little bit, and whew, that'll let you know you're alive. But the door's open. If you don't mind, I'd like it if one of you could open it.
I'll open it. Like, she feels terrible.
She's just picked up a little bit of a twitch.
Oh God, I feel bad.
Talmud
Yesha, how are
pats her on
you?
the shoulder. This is called earning your stripes.
As you pat her, she's like, oh, that hurt a lot. She took 8 points of damage.
Oh, sweetheart. Cantriel, like, gently, like, very gingerly put her hand on her shoulder and do cure wounds first level.
All right.
And that gives her more than enough. So that's going to be 11.
Okay.
Or no, sorry, 10.
Yep. That will help her to recover, and she just sort of, oh, thank you.
Sorry about that. I thought it was just locked.
I guess I just took it for granted that it wasn't trapped. I could have taken a look myself. All right. Then you open the door.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You see, as you open the door, there is a room that is about 20 feet by 20 feet with 10-foot ceilings. It's mostly square. The north wall has a slight curve to it, indicating that it's probably on the outer wall. And you see a continuation of the theme of this door. The floors, the walls, the ceiling all have these same carvings all over them. The room also is reminiscent of the breached vault that you entered on the first floor, where everything was tiled in red, and it had that shrine to a Chardalon. In this room, everything is, the stone and everything seems to be red, almost absorbs light. And there is a large pipe that is about 5 foot in diameter in the northeastern corner of the room. And to the left of that is a obsidian altar to a Chardalon. As you enter the room, all whispering stops. The iron pipe also has a lid on it. The lid that is on the pipe appears to be possibly made of stone, but it is most definitely carved in the same likenesses.
But as we step into the room, nothing immediately jumps out and tries to eat our faces.
No, there's nothing that you can see.
I think there's probably a moment where like Talmud and Thorgarn are standing shoulder to shoulder, like right at the threshold of the room, and like neither one of them is moving.
Weapons drawn, prepared for battle.
Absolutely, gripping them like really tight.
Cantriel turns around like, what is wrong with the two of you?
Yeah, go ahead. He kind of like pushes Thorgarn forward into the room.
I will take another step forward.
So Cantriel, Thorgarn, Talmud.
What do we have to do?
Yep. Follow him in. How big is the room
also.
again?
20 by 20. 10
Okay.
foot ceilings.
Yeah.
The sloping
That's-
roof.
And there's nothing in here except for the capped pipe
And an altar.
And a small
and an
obsidian
altar, right?
altar.
Obsidian altar. Okay.
to a
Cool.
shard of
Yeah,
light.
I'll back him up as we're all heading into the room. Sure. I'll come in and then step to the right of the door to make sure it's clear.
I heard voices. I really thought that, you'd come and say hi. Looking around, looking to...
Between the light that is on Ghost Cleaver and the even brighter sunlight that fills this room as Griveth enters, there's this weird play of energy as the light seems to sort of cause cascading shadows from all of the multitude of these sort of relief carvings. Some of it being the light being absorbed, some of it causing these shadows to dance around. And as Griveth steps into the room, you hear a hissing sound. A hiss of revulsion. And you feel the floor shift beneath your feet as several of the mouths begin to move. The mouths on the walls, the mouths on the ceiling, all begin whispering and gibbering. And I need you all to roll for initiative.
Well, isn't that pretty?
16 for Drown.
All right, let's see. So,
17 for Thorgarn.
Amidst the mouth gibberings.
Thorgarn, you said 17?
I did.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
unusual. Cantriel?
12.
Griveth?
12.
Smurf.
Big?
I also got a 16.
Double ups.
Nobody else got a 16. Did they?
Dan did.
Dan.
Yeah, Drown.
Sorry,
Drown.
you were
Yeah,
last
drown.
in the list, so I didn't add you yet.
Oh,
I was like,
see
what do you
how it
mean
is.
you also got a 16?
Yep.
Talmud.
An 11.
All right, and then I need to roll for this nightmare. Right. Interesting. All right, so here is the oh, this is crazy. So a couple days ago, I activated the Party Wizard on D&D Beyond. There's a little hidden icon somewhere in the upper toolbar, and it's just a little tiny wizard that's just going, and it's a full spectrum. And when you move across all of the options, they also do this sort of spectral light. Apparently that carries over to whose turn it is in initiative order, because Thorgarn,
cool.
your initiative is going. Thorgarn, it's your turn. This just turned into a rave.
All right. Well,
I'm here for this party.
I don't know how much of a, Warhammer dance Thorgarn is going to do, but, he's going to try his best.
Oh, now hold on. This is meta mode. I have seen you dance a PC around.
Yes, but I said Thorgarn. I am not vomit.
And all of the mouths are making that sound.
They're all beatboxing with each other.
Oh, dear God. The stuff that nightmares are made of.
So the mouths are moving. Are they?
Mhm.
I'm assuming they're looking aggressive.
You may determine that as much as you want. Right now, the floor is sort of moving under your feet. You need to make a strength saving throw at the start of your turn. And I think everybody's close enough to get Griveth's bonus.
Wow. All right. So that's a 3 on top of that.
Clumped up like a JV soccer team.
So that's a 29.
Yep, no problem. You're able to move across this undulating floor. The walls, the ceiling, the floor, everything has mouths that are gibbering nonsensically. You can attack what you want or stand your ground, or
I'm gonna bash at the mouths if they look like they're actually doing something.
Would I consider the floor's posture threatening?
given that it looks just like all of the other surfaces in this room, And as you look down, there are feet, or rather, mouths near your feet. You probably yes. All right. So what are you doing there, Thorgarn?
All right, I'm going to swing at whatever the closest mouth is. I'm going to assume a 12 is a miss. But then after that,
A 12 is a miss. Yes.
Then the lowest after that is a 22.
22 will hit.
25 will then hit that. Do you want these separately or just totaled?
You don't need to separate them, but as usual, I need to know what kind of damage you're doing.
26 bludgeoning magic damage.
Okay. Yeah, and you're attacking with your hammer.
Yeah, that was Forge Fang.
Yeah, you're shattering teeth. You're breaking what sounds like bones as you're striking at the floor.
Okay, that floor is fine.
Well, I was asking you if you're striking the floor.
I assumed wall was,
Okay, yeah, that's fine. You just reach out and smash into a mouth. I just
reach out and smash someone.
As I said that, I think it was subconscious. Somebody in chat said smash mouth. You smash into a mouth, and you hear Rockstar. Hey now, you're a rock star. There's all kinds of music going on in this party. But yeah, you successfully attack the room. Fig, you are up next, surrounded by this nonsense. And that's just the Dawnbringers.
I think Drown is going to go next.
Okay, that's fine.
Yep.
So when Thorgarn smashed the floor mouth, did it seem to react in any way that was creature-like, or did it just like break weird animate stone?
Oh no, it
Screams of
absolutely
pain or
reacted. Several of the mouths are that were hit were crying out.
Oh, all right then.
Sorry, I'm trying not to creep V out too much with all the whispering.
Fair enough. Okay, so I guess what I'm trying to get a sense of is, am I next to a hostile creature, right?
If you are in the room, you are engaged with a hostile creature.
All right, then I won't bother trying to Eldritch Blast. I will just start laying about me into the floor and, animate faces on the walls. I assume it's all basically one big piece.
Yep,
so.
that's a good point, is that if you're, technically it won't, because the walls, this room is 20 by 20, you could attack the walls without it invoking the range reduction. You're muted, Dan.
Yes, I just muted myself to talk. Great. I figured that the floor is counting as a creature, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I'm not going to worry about ranged attacks. I'm just going to smash with my packed weapon. Start laying about me with the staff.
All right.
All right, so we got two smashies. It's going to be 25 and a 26. I assume both of those
Both are going to hit.
Oh, good. 12, 20. So that's a total of 22 magical bludgeoning damage.
More mouths are getting smashed. At one point, you actually get the sense that as you drive your staff down, it goes several inches as if into an open mouth, like jamming it down a creature's throat. And you're hearing this constant hissing and growling. It's now sort of this grotesque saliva seems to be forming at several of the mouths. They're frothing.
It's frothing. All right, well then that's horrific. As a bonus action, I will conjure up one of those spectral water tentacles and lash at the floor with it as well.
While he's rolling that, I have to tell you, Jake, I think you've come up with the most frightening monster during a pandemic. By the way.
Because it's frothing and spitting.
Yeah, that is not a great roll. 15?
15 will hit.
All right, let's try 6 points of, let's do lightning damage.
Yeah, you. This was one of your tentacles you conjured?
Yeah, water tentacle kind of snakes up out of the ground.
And it strikes at it, and you watch as the lightning as it hits this creature, it seems to dissipate almost immediately. It does some damage, but it doesn't travel
resistant.
through as much as you would have expected.
Got it. And that's my turn.
All right, Fig.
Fig is going to gently roll this very small ball bearing down down the room, and as this ball keeps rolling, I want it to go to the end of the room and just ignite into fire as it's kind of rolling down once it's past everyone. And Fig is going to cast Flaming Sphere. Now, I have a question. As a bonus action, I am moving the spear up to 30 feet, which is rolling it past. If it rams into a creature, it has to make a saving throw. So if I ram it into the wall, would that count?
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. So that sphere is just going to roll to the other side of the room and ram into a wall, and it has to make a dexterity saving throw.
That is going to be an 8.
Okay, that is a... that is only going to be 10 points of fire damage.
Okay. And you see some of this wall. This is probably the first attack on it that has caused it to react in a way that you would expect flesh to react. It sizzles, it burns, it blisters where this fire touches it. And it is now its turn. And you see even now that where the blisters were formed, whoops, I went the wrong way with that. Where blisters were formed, they already are starting to heal. Where Drown's lightning, where the others broke teeth, they seem to be reforming as this thing is regenerating some amount of the damage against it. It is going to, however, take oh, you know what? There is a correction to that. It is not going to regenerate because this entire room is bathed in sunlight. Keep forgetting about Griveth's Dawnbringer. So it is not going to do that. Instead, it is going to make 3 attacks. And we're going to roll randomly to see who these all are. I'm going to roll 3D. That doesn't make sense.
Only because you just now brought it up. Is it like burning in the sun or just not regenerating because of the light?
The sunlight is not destroying it. It's sort of reacting to it, but it is preventing it from healing.
Cool. Freaky.
So I'm rolling 3d6 to randomly determine the recipients of these attacks. That's going to be Griveth, Thorgarn, and Thorgarn. Griveth. I'm pretty sure... Oh, that is not even the right modifier. I homebrewed this like 3 hours before the game. Well, maybe it is. No, that would be... so that's, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's a 5 to hit. So that's going to miss. Thorgarn, that's going to be a 15 and a 22.
22 will hit. Why don't you reroll it though?
Can I deflect that?
Sure. Let's try the deflection first. That, as you see Thorgarn getting sort of some of these mouths at his feet are concentrating, you are able to intercede. This is a unique situation. It's not a foe you can step between. How do you intercept that attack against Thorgarn?
So is it essentially coming up from the floor under him, attacking him?
Yes.
Okay. So as it kind of stretches out of the floor, I almost like shield slam it back down to the floor.
Okay.
I was gonna say that you just basically, elbow push me out of the way, but that works too.
In reaction to this, several of the mouths you hear as all of the whispering and gibbering stops, and you hear this horrible, almost retching sound, and all of the mouths seem to spit simultaneously toward the ceiling. All of this saliva just into a huge glob, and I need everybody to make a dexterity saving throw. I'm looking at like at least 2, and occasionally 3 and 4 faces that are in absolute disgust.
You just hopped a loogie on the ceiling.
I got a 24.
A 23 from Thorgarn.
You're good.
Yeah, I got a 24 too.
Jake, I burnt a domain die, and
Yeah,
I have a. My brain just farted right on out. Sorry. 17.
Okay.
I also used a domain die for a 12.
Okay.
Oh, no.
And Talmud, what did you get?
I'm assuming that I could have used Danger Sense, so I rolled with advantage, and I got a dirty 20.
Okay. So it looks like Fig is the only one that fails. As this massive spit bomb sort of collides with itself near the ceiling, it does the last thing you would have expected. It explodes in a burst of light. All of you avert your eyes in time except for Fig, who is now blinded until the end of this creature's next turn. So Fig, you can add the blinded condition.
So is that because you needed to have another song reference in this fight?
Blinded by the light. This is why I don't sing. But I knew exactly what you were going for. I do believe that my creature has used all of its turns. Cantriel, it is your turn.
Yes, well, I don't like this thing because it's gross and annoying, and it doesn't go away very easily. So I am going to... The altar's across the room, right?
Yeah, it's at this point with everybody sort of centralized in the room, it's probably about 10 feet away.
I want to cast Shatter, but I don't want to hit my companions. Could I still hit it if I center it further over the altar? Or would we just be in the cusp of it?
With everybody sort of centralized in the room, I don't know that you can move it.
Can do that, yeah.
Because it's a point you can see, and the ceilings are only 10 feet in here.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out.
Anywhere you aim it in this room, you're going to catch.
It's going to hit.
You're going to catch at least half your party.
Okay. Then I think what I will do is I'm just going to shoot a couple faces. Because, why not?
You didn't take any damage, so I don't believe it will affect your concentration.
Okay, so does a 25 hit?
Yes.
Then that is going, ooh, that's a nice 8. So that's going to be 12 points piercing.
Magical piercing.
Yes, and then the 16 hit?
A 16 does hit.
Then that's 8 points piercing.
All right.
And then turn to Talmud. This is even grosser than you are sometimes, and that's Bardic Inspiration.
It's a weird way to inspire somebody.
She always is often sarcastic, though.
At least it wasn't me.
Griveth.
All right. So are the mouths like coming out of the tiles, or is it kind of the whole thing is like a fleshy room where there's like mouths?
Because of the damage you've seen this thing take,
Yeah.
it looks as if every surface of this room is made of flesh.
Ooh, perfect. Perfect terrain piece. Okay.
I feel like Jeremy Black Magic Craft did something. He did something along this line of a fleshy room. Now that I think about it, which is just a weird phrase to say, a fleshy room. I regret it immediately.
So Griveth he's kind of like looking on the floor like, ugh, and like trying to not step on these mouths that are like, I imagine are kind of biting up, spitting, he sees the spit fly up. So Griveth is like, what was the name on the door?
The name is Ogunun Sathar.
Ogunun Sathar.
Ogunun
Okay, so
Sathar.
So Griveth says, Ogunun, we are enemies of Gulthias. Does anything answer?
You hear the name Gulthias being uttered. Half of the mouths are saying the name as if it is an honorific. The other half are saying it as if it is a blasphemy.
So, in my mind, what's going through my mind is that this thing is basically just insane. So, I put that aside, and Dawnbringer is coming down on one of these sidestep mouths that I see bubbling up beside me. Dawnbringer swings in a light arc. That's a 22 to hit.
Yep.
And that is 15 radiant damage. So Dawnbringer sears into it. Another swing. Oh, that's not so good.
Does Dawnbringer do anything? I keep asking this question. I should have its stats up. But
oh, no problem.
Against undead?
It does, actually.
This is an undead creature.
Oh, is it classified? Okay. I'll add 3 more damage to that then.
Okay.
And that's all radiant damage.
Yep.
So the second roll was a 15.
That is also a hit.
Oh, nice. All right. Yeah. Okay. That is, let me get that extra D8 in there. Come on, baby. Not so good. So 17 total all day for that hit. Radiant damage. It's like, ugh, ugh. He's like almost like trying to swat something on the floor with it, and trying to sidestep all these mouths that are emerging.
And as you're doing more and more damage to this thing, you can actually see where the flesh has become worn thin in places. Stone is appearing on the other side. This appears to be something that is sort of coating the walls.
I see the light of day, so to speak.
Talmud.
So Talmud is going to see this horrific visage playing out all over the room, and he's going to turn and look at the objects at the far side, the altar, and you said there was a black canister, like scroll case type looking thing.
Well, it's a 5-foot diameter pipe sticking out of the floor.
Big pipe. Okay. So he's going to charge over there, and is the What is like the dimensions and shape of the altar? Is it just like a rectangular block?
It's about maybe 18 inches high, 18 inches deep, and about 3 feet long. It's sort of a smaller altar.
Does it? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna switch over to Gerta as I'm approaching the altar, and I'm going to swing Gerta down at it twice.
All right. Make attacks.
I'm going to attack it recklessly. Why not? 28 on the first one.
Yeah, that's
23 on the second.
Yep.
Cool.
With these two successful strong hits, the first hit cracks the surface of the altar. You bring the head of Gerta down right into that same spot the second time. And the altar caves in on itself. As it does so, you realize that the altar was hollow, but it was not empty. As you split the altar, the interior appears to have been filled with blood. Blood begins spilling out of the altar onto the floor, but it does not get far as the many gibbering mouths begin to drink up this blood. And you watch as those holes that were in the floor begin to seal themselves. Not fully, but to a certain extent, this blood has revitalized this creature.
No good deed goes unpunished. It really doesn't.
That takes us back to the top of the order. Thorgarn, it is your turn.
All right, well, 3 more swings at 3 more mouths, or one. So that is going to be a 24, a 19, 15 on the final swing.
Those are all hits.
It's going to be 34 points of magical bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, some of the mouths at your feet barely finished healing, and you just immediately destroy them again. That's going to take us to Fig and Drown.
Okay. Well, that's just 17 different shades of disturbing. So I think Drown's current plan is to just keep trying to smash the wall floor gibbering vampire monster. So I'll strike at it twice with my packed staff. Low end, I've got a dirty 20.
Hits.
Okay. So 12.
At this point,
9.
you
That's a
know
total.
everything above a 15 and above hits.
All right, good deal. 21 total magical bludgeoning. And
All right.
then I'll try and smack it with the tentacle as a bonus action. That'll hit. Let's try 9 cold damage this time.
All right. Tentacle strikes, and you watch as frost begins to move across the surface. But again,
Frost froth.
it seems to be resistant to that type of damage.
All right, well, those are the 2 options I got. So I guess it's resistant to my tentacle smacks. Okay, that's my turn.
All right, Fig, you are still blinded. It is your turn.
So, Fig is going to ram the flame ball back into the wall again.
All right.
And have it make a dex saving throw.
Yeah, that's a fail. It's a wall.
I don't know, maybe just a huge, just Whoop. Hole just
No, it
opens
is
up.
it is possible for it to succeed. But I rolled a natural 1.
So that's going to take 14 points of fire damage.
Okay.
And then he is going to cast Firebolt at it with disadvantage. At the opposite, or it's going to try.
Okay.
So that's a 18 to hit.
Yep.
Okay.
Again, it's a
and
wall.
It's fair. And that is going to be 9 points.
9. All right.
And that is it for Fig.
All right. It is now its turn. And this whole time you've been dealing with this thing, the gibbering has been getting louder and louder. And I need all of you to make a wisdom saving throw. And don't forget your +3 for Griveth. For paladin bonus.
I need to use a domain die.
I did
drown,
too.
drown.
Same.
Yep. Okay, so that sounds like four domain dice total.
4 domain. All right, hold
Burnt.
on. We were at 112, so we're going to be at one.
I still wasn't in the double digits, even with the
We're going to
bonuses.
be at 108. All right. Okay, so we're. All right, so where's everybody at?
17.
Did you hear that I
14.
used one as well, Jake?
Oh, so 5. 5
Oh, that's a
domain.
5th.
Even with
it's
the
still
+3.
I had
It was a bad roll.
Yeah. That was
You-
going around.
Yeah.
30 for Griveth.
Well, Griveth
Shut
had.
up!
We found where all the numbers went.
I sucked up all the numbers. Right? I sucked up all the luck.
All right, what did you end up with, Drown?
17.
Cantriel?
14.
How much?
14. Sorry.
Big?
Church giggles. 14.
10.
Thorgarn?
11.
Talmud?
I rolled a 1 and then used the domain die to triple that. So the 3 is my total.
So Griveth and Drown save. The rest of you cannot take reactions for this whole turn until your next turn. And on your turn, I'll need you to roll a d8 to determine exactly what you do. In the meantime, it's going to make 3 more attacks. Those attacks are going to be at Fig, Talmud, and Fig. So two Fig attacks, 1 Talmud attack.
I attacked recklessly on my turn, so it would have advantage
Okay.
against me.
So Talmud, that is going to be a dirty 20 to hit you. Fig, that is a 15 on the first one.
My AC is a 15, so
So that is a
yes.
hit.
Yep.
And that's a 12 on the second one. So 1 hit against Fig, 1 hit.
I'll deflect the one on Fig.
All right, so we'll make that a disadvantage.
Smash that mouth back into the floor.
Unfortunately, the new roll is even higher. The new roll's a 22, so it's still going to hit Fig. So, Talmud, I'm going to look at this, make sure I do this right. You will take 12, 13, 14, 15 points of piercing damage. And you'll take 5, 8, 12 points of necrotic damage. And I need you to make a strength saving throw. Oh, wait. The 12 necrotic damage also reduces your maximum hit points by 12.
Does it regain hit points from that?
Yes.
Yep. Yep. Oh god.
So, and then what'd you get for a strength save, Talmud?
I'm going to spend another domain dice.
All right.
Domain die, rather. For 14.
That will succeed. As it bites into you, it tries pulling you down, but you maintain your footing. Fig, the hit on you, you're going to take 8, 9, 10, 15 points of piercing. And you're going to take 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 points of necrotic. Your hit point maximum is reduced by 19, and it heals 19 points. And once again, oh wait, I gotta see if it recharged. Nope, it does not recharge. It's blinding spittle. Somebody's gonna need to go back and we're gonna have to do some kind of a supercut clip of all the disgusted faces in this encounter. That is the end of its turn. Cantriel.
I don't like this thing, and I'm going to wrap my arms around myself and cast protection from evil and good. In hopes that it helps, because this thing's creepy.
Oops. I accidentally wrote protect with 2 C's.
No, honey. No, hon.
Been on the internet too long.
We're not on the tweeters.
Protection from evil.
Basically, disadvantage on attack rolls. And I can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them.
Okay, perfect. Then it is now Griveth's turn. Oh, and I totally forgot. We may need to retcon that. We'll see. Because you failed your saving throw from the gibbering. You need to roll a d8 before you take your action.
4.
You actually do nothing on this turn.
Oh, great.
The gibbering is getting into your head and is preventing you from doing anything. Now it is Griveth's turn, and you succeeded, so you're good. You can take an action.
Yeah. Damn straight. All right. So Griveth looks around. Is Fig still blinded, right?
No, Fig, your eyesight comes back.
Okay, Fig is okay. Okay. So it's just Drown and I that have made it, right?
You're the only two not affected by this.
Okay.
This gibbering sound.
Okay, so I see Cantriel kind of just freeze, and that's very unlike Cantriel. I realize something's going on. I see Drown seems okay, but the rest seem kind of in a confusion. And this could be very bad. So Griveth has kind of realized that this thing is undead, right? From the effects that he's seeing, like Dawnbringer tear into this thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Griveth is going to turn undead.
Interesting. So it needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Yes.
And the DC is
15.
All right. Grab this die. Excuse me. That is a 10.
Whew.
What does your turn ability look like? I'll tell you what the creature does, but you tell me what it looks like when you attempt to turn it.
Okay. So I'm kind of, I grab my Eldath symbol. I'm holding up Dawnbringer, trying to channel the power of Eldath through Dawnbringer. And I'm kind of going, like, we're surrounded by this thing. So I'm trying to, like, essentially spread out the power of the turn of Eldath. So I'm spinning around, shining Dawnbringer on, the walls, the fleshy, gibbering walls. And I kind of imagine that it actually, like, starts, like, ripping or oozing off the walls as, like, kind of a fleshy carpet. And it's either going to go out the door or, like, almost go to one side of the room.
So what it does is it begins moving completely away from you. I do need all of you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Is this affected if we're under the whatever the mental effects were? Confusion?
+3, +3, +3.
No, just make your dex save. And you'd be able to see it. You'd be able to see it, barbarians, because it is basically it's trying to move out from under your feet.
Because danger.
Well, me being aware of danger turned it from a 9 to a 19. So, yay.
Did anybody
20.
get... Oh, go ahead.
26.
It needs to be a virtual dice jail. I feel like that needs to be D&D's Beyond. Like,
Oh no!
That's why I don't use virtual dice. They hate me.
I hate virtual dice. I don't trust.
They are
them.
wretched things.
What,
Give me my
Got a
pretty math
6.
rocks I can touch.
what'd you get, Fig?
I got a 6.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Did
Reroll?
anybody other than
Reroll?
Fig get lower than a 15?
I got lower.
Oh. So Griveth and Fig both get knocked prone
Oh.
as the floor rapidly recedes out from underneath you, much like you said, a fleshy carpet being pulled out from under your feet. But you also watch as the walls and the ceiling all begin to sort of into that northeast corner until all you see are stone walls and a massive gibbering mouther creature in the corner of the room, and it is attempting to lift the lid off of this pipe, but it's not its turn. Is that your turn, Griveth?
It is, yeah.
You haven't used your movement yet, so you could use half your movement to stand up if you wished.
Okay, I will do that, yeah, and try to stay as close to everybody as I can.
Talmud.
Talmud has to roll a d8 and got a 3.
Yes. You will do nothing.
Okay. So I do nothing.
Thorgarn.
Do they get a save at the end of their turn?
I have to roll a d8 and I roll a 3.
You also will do nothing. No, they do not get a save at the end of their turn.
Do we feel more ourselves at the end of our turn, though?
Yes. You do, however, get a domain die. Thanks to EverJ for resubscribing for 24 months. Thanks, Jason. Fig, you are prone. And you had failed, so you need to make a roll, a d8.
I got a 7.
All right, I need you to roll a d6, re-roll any 4s.
Oh, that's a 4. 2.
You need to, whatever your best melee attack is, which for a wizard, even if it's just throwing a punch, you are going to attack Drown in your confusion.
Oh no. Oh no. I'll whack him with my stick, my little wand that I have.
We'll call it an unarmed strike.
Yeah. Oh no. That's a 14.
Does that hit Drown?
So the stick probably just kind of thwack.
It's probably like getting hit lightly with a switch.
I was gonna say it's like a teacher at Hogwarts. Just like.
But yes, out of the blue, Fig seems disoriented and has struck you.
And is it pretty clear that this whispering and gibbering and babbling is kind of pressing in at us or confusing? So does it seem reasonable to understand like what's happening there?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Well,
So it's kind of disorienting hearing it.
You kind of just saw, Talmud, Cantriel, and Thorgarn, who were engaged in battle, just kind of like
Go slackjaw. Yeah. Okay.
I think
Not that I
Fig
think
would
there's
like
anything at all I can do about that, but
Fig just I am so sorry. It must be a malfunction in my hardware. And he just looks at his arm.
it's fine.
Drown, it is your turn. You were
Yeah.
not affected by the gibbering.
I was not gibber whammied. So it looks like it's trying to flee down into the pipe. Is that right?
It looks like it's attempting to pull the lid. Like it's
And it just
already,
hasn't-
some of it is sort of moving around. Like it's trying, and you can see the lid starting to lift a little bit.
All right. Press the attack or let it run. People can respond if you want.
Attack.
Whatever gets rid of it faster.
Fair enough. I heard attack, so I will.
At this point, it's
Reach out
about
with
12
my-
feet away from you.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll reach out with my hand, run it through that greenish, watery energy spectral tentacle, gather that crackling energy in my hand, and launch it at the thing, who I assume is Ogun and Sathar.
You assume it's what?
Ogun and Sathar, the
Oh, yeah.
person who is interred here. And turns out we were the fools. All right, so that is going to be barely 2 hits, but 2 hits. So this will be force damage to the tune of 16 points. And that, will break its turn if it's not already.
All right. It's still in.
And I'll send the tentacle after it, even though it's resistant, but
Okay.
a little bit helps. Okay, so that's going to be 10, so 5.
All right. You've still done a pretty decent amount of damage to it, and it appears to be hurting. You would even see some portion of it, as it's literally just this mound of flesh and mouths. Some portion of it seems to be like trying to snake its way towards where the broken altar is, but all that blood is gone, and it's seems to be moving a bit too close to Griveth, and it sort of recoils back against itself. It is going to well, first let me see if it can it does not recharge, so it is going to, what is the read of that thing?
It took damage also, so it's no longer turned.
It is going to, right, correct. It is still going to it starts pushing up against the lid, and you watch as this you clearly stone lid as it crashes to the floor and cracks. And this creature begins forcing itself into this 5-foot tube. More and more of itself oozing down into it. It is only going to get about halfway down into the tube on its turn. And that's too far, so that's all it's going to do.
Joe Oobleck pouring down a sink.
Now, Cantriel, it is your turn. You are no longer affected by the gibbering.
I'm going to shoot at the damn thing. It's pissed me off. And I'm going, you know what? I'm doing my hunter's mark on top of it. Because she can, and she will. Oh, those are pretty rolls. Well, I know a 28 hits.
Yeah.
And that's going to be 17 piercing. And I know that a crit hits.
Well, dang.
So, hold on. I have to do the math thing again. So that is 12 plus 6 is 18 to start. And then that's going to be plus another 9. My brain just went, nope.
You said 18 plus another 9?
Mm-hmm.
Cantriel, how do you want to end this?
Oh, sweet baby yeses. Okay. So she's going to drop Sempre Cavatina. Quite frankly, I'm getting sick and tired of your poor table manners. You need to go away. And she'll just fa-toomp in sequence. The first one will land offside a little bit, sort of piercing it into place, and then she will just shoot the second arrow directly into its center. You hear a nice little squelch as it falls undead lifeless.
What
Stop
you see,
gibbering.
as you hit that second hit, you got it right in the weak spot where half of its mass was in the tube. The other half was still outside of it. And you see it begin to kind of pull like taffy, and then half of its form just goes, and you hear this sort of something sliding against metal, and it carries on for a good minute. This thing continues to descend this pipe, but as the rest of it remains behind, you watch as it begins to disincorporate, and all of the flesh turns into this goo, this ichor, and you hear the clattering sound of hundreds and hundreds of teeth collapsing to the ground. But you also hear a metallic sound of more than one item dropping to the ground in the corner behind the pipe. Something heavy and metallic.
Oh, I thought they were going down the pipe. That's.
I thought they were gold teeth. I was getting excited.
You know?
Well, you don't know.
Talmud.
You haven't looked.
Talmud, sounds like your calling card.
Yes, right. He's gonna watch this thing collapse like this with kind of this horrified look on his face, and then be kind of brought back to the present by Cantriel's
Strident voice.
suggestion. Yeah, right. He's gonna move forward to inspect what this noise was.
And sorry.
No, go ahead.
And Griveth, always underestimating Cantriel's amazing ears, leans over to Talmud and whispers to Talmud, "I knew something was wrong because I've never seen Cantriel tongue-tied before."
You should probably keep that to yourself.
I heard it.
Just checking, treasure.
Uh-huh. Thanks very much.
Talmud.
I like treasure. You can keep that one for me.
Talmud in the corner. Amidst the ichor and the hundreds of teeth, there are more than 1,000 loose gold pieces. There are 4 red gems worth 100 gold pieces each. For whoever's keeping track of treasure, there's 1,233 gold coins. Because I know you guys are going to pick every last gold coin up. There's also a set of very thin looking gloves. They have no seams. They're very well made. They show no signs of deterioration despite the fact that they were apparently within this. Except for the fact that there appears to be a set of hands, bony hands, still in the gloves. There is a set of bracers. And there is a small packet with some dust in it.
Well, this was a rave, so that checks out.
Yep. It's a baggie with what, MDM? I don't know. That was never my scene, so it says, I don't know, it has a picture of a Care Bear and 3 X's on it.
It's a bunch of tablets with Garfield's face pressed into them.
That's what happened. People came in here, they started rubbing against the floor and the walls, and
suddenly we're loving everybody.
Jake, you said 1,200. How much GP?
1,233 gold pieces. 4 gems, red gems.
I got everything
okay,
else.
You got all that.
I just needed.
Yep. And the pipe, since you're so close to it, besides having just the disgusting smell of death, has a bit of a smell of ash and burned flesh as well. You get the sense that this pipe may have once upon a time been used as a crematorium. And that, after that very disturbing and demented encounter, is where we are going to take our break. Please stick around. We will be back in just a few minutes. We'll be back be gone for about 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna open up something. There we go. So yeah, thanks for everybody who's tuned in so far, and if you stuck around during that encounter, kudos. I didn't even realize when I concocted it how disturbing it was. So yeah, please stick around. We'll be back in just a few minutes. And we're back after that thoroughly disturbing encounter with the gibbering mouther room, where the room was literally the gibbering mouther. But the Dawnbringers once again prevailed and now find themselves a little bit richer for it, as Thorgarn and Talmud have picked up all the pieces. Talmud picking through the remnants of this creature, and you now have those mysterious items and the gold and gems.
So,
Harriet, what would you like to do?
Sorry. The altar that Talmud had kind of whacked, how was that designed? Like, what kind of stuff was actually on it?
The entire thing was made of obsidian and seemed to have pieces that were carved into a draconic sort of silhouette of a Chardalon, similar to what you've seen on the other small altars you found in other rooms. Although none of the other altars, well, the only other one you broke didn't bleed when you broke it.
Right. Is there any chance that I could find like a chunk, like a softball-sized piece that still has either the head or a portion of the head of a Chardalon?
Roll me a D100. You can definitely find a piece. We're going to do one of my sliding scale D100 checks. What do you got?
I got a 0.7.
That is exactly what I rolled. I'm going to say that you find the entire head intact on a piece of this. It's, like you said, about the size of a softball. Maybe a grapefruit. I don't know if there's a softball sport in this world.
Well, I mean, that's more for...
But yes, and you're able to find it. What are you going to do with it?
I'm putting that into my project folder, project bag.
Okay.
Did the room lap up all the blood that spilled out of the altar?
It did.
Ugh. Is there any trace of it left?
There is not. It absorbed all of it.
I wonder what that was about.
I don't think that there's really any explanation that I'd be comfortable with. Honestly.
Yeah, maybe it's better we don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, Griveth. He kind of like pats him on the back and looks for like the quickest place to exit this room.
The only explanation you need is that our foe is foul.
And a foul foe it was. Hey, I'm a poet just like Cantriel.
I think that is incorrect.
Maybe I should start singing some songs.
Oh, look, another door.
Hey, yeah, Griveth, why don't you check that for us?
Yeah, he'll go to another door and try opening it.
So there's a door to your left, about 5 feet, and then there's, back the way you came, there's 2 other doors. You can take the closest one.
Yeah, on the left.
The door is unremarkable, opens with ease, and reveals a small 10 by 10 room that is filled with cobwebs, some broken masonry, and a couple of dusty old what look like they may have been brooms at one time, though most of the bristles are gone.
I don't think there's anything in here. It doesn't look really worthwhile, honestly.
Not magic broomsticks.
I'm a little rusty on my magic brooms.
Yeah, Drown is basically already moving over to the next door whenever people are ready to open it. Just kind of getting in position.
This room here is where you faced off against Sathar. The next door you would open it and reveal a narrow passageway that leads to another spiral staircase leading downward.
Shall we continue down?
Is there another door?
There's one more door that you didn't open right here.
I say we check that one last door before we head down. I will go open the door.
All right. You open up this room and you see that it's another kind of wedge-shaped room. A litter of debris and dust is partially covering another altar. This one twice the size of the one that you saw in the previous room. The altar, there's dust everywhere in this room, but the altar itself appears to have been brushed clean. There is a symbol carved into the surface of the altar. And with your dwarven eyes and dwarven knowledge, you know this carving is relatively new. It is another carving of the leafless tree of Gulthias.
So it's a shrine to a Shardalon, but then has a Gulthias.
This shrine, this has no draconic imagery on it.
Okay. So it is a newer shrine than the one in the room that we were just in.
So is this whole dragon Gulthias thing just coincidence?
I believe that this place used to belong to Cult of Shardalon.
Yes, that's obvious, but I mean,
Gulthias' people took it over.
No,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
You've
Wasn't
learned
there a connection between Gulthias and...
Yes, you know, you've already learned that that Gulthias was the leader of the cult of Ashardalon.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay. Sorry,
it's
I forgot
not
that.
accidental.
Okay.
It's
Okay, sorry,
it's
I forgot that.
intentional.
Okay, okay, my bad.
So it would appear that there are people within his cult that have decided he should be worshipped. Thorgarn, this is your area of expertise.
How is this my area of expertise?
You're
Yeah.
I know a little bit, but I'm not, super into the books.
well, actually, it's kind of more up my line. Actually,
Oh, well.
So, I mean, am I able to make a religion check here? I mean, is that going to give me any detail that we don't already have?
Sure. Go ahead and make a religion check. And
It's going to be a dirty 20. Dirty 20.
so what exactly are you trying to discern?
Why this place? Why this room? Is there any further detail beyond just, the carving of the tree? Is there any, significance about this particular shrine that has details that we haven't already uncovered? Any of that kind of jazz.
Well, you have seen this symbol carved before. In this tower. It was carved in the floor of the stairway up above.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, based on what you know about the history of the Dawnbringers and the fact that they fought against somebody who was controlling the Gulthias tree, and that Griveth destroyed this tree, you would know that you get the sense that this symbol, which is newly carved within the last 6 months or so, seems to be as if somebody is taking on a new icon. Whether it's Gulthias himself or those who may or may not wish to worship him, is taken the tree that had imprisoned him for so long as a symbol. And it has been carved into various places around this tower.
So I'll go into because of dwarves and stonework, I can see that this carving is fresh. It's months old, not years and decades like some of the other things that we've seen. The shrine that Talmud just destroyed was ancient, whereas this is new. There's new power afoot here, I would imagine. I don't know whether these creatures are attempting to claim power that was Gulthias, or whether he himself is back and encouraging things to move beyond. But we definitely have something more to be on the lookout for.
As you're talking about it, Yesha comes in and she's looking, like trying to look around all of you and get a good look at it, and she kind of moves towards the front. Do you mind if I get an etching of this?
I don't think an etching would be a good idea. You could give your own take on it, but to take that symbol exact, doesn't that bring a bit of its power with you?
She's already got some what looks like she's pulling out a roll of thin parchment. And you can see that there's other sheets in there. You can see other rubbings that she's done. And she kind of hesitates. Wait. You're saying that if I take a rubbing of this, that its power will go into the paper?
Symbols are more than just symbols. You understand? And I'll hold up the anvil that I have around my neck, and I point towards Griveth's waterfall. We don't wear these things because we think they look pretty. They mean something.
Those symbols only mean something in your hands. If I were to take it, it's just a disc.
Plus, we need to document this.
I disagree.
We got to keep documents of this. It's our hero's journey.
Yes, but you can.
Generations later, we'll want to know how we defeated Gulthias.
And words and a pictorial can say that, but to take that image, to bring it with, it holds power.
She looks around at the rest of you, not really saying anything, and then kind of puts the roll of parchments, tucks it back into her satchel, takes her pencil out of her journal and just sort of licks the tip of it, and then does a quick sketch, just kind of getting the general shape of it down, and makes a couple annotations. And then, just super quick thumbnail sketch, like 30 seconds, and then puts it all away, wraps it away, and puts it back inside her satchel. Just kind of stares at it a minute, and I had no idea that a symbol could carry power like that.
I'm not convinced it does, but
Better
hear
to
your
not
caution.
take chances, eh?
Is anyone
Well-
else? Does anyone else think I'm wrong? I mean,
Oh, you
Some-
should make sure you get that branch over there. Yeah, get that. You missed a little twig there.
Sometimes you can give things power without meaning to.
I don't think a simple drawing or diagram has the power you speak of, but I'm not going to challenge you on it. You may be right.
All right. Well, I just took a quick sketch, and I'll be more careful in the future.
so
That's pretty much it for this room. Jake?
That's it for this room, and you have now
Okay.
uncovered 100% of this floor.
Hooray!
want to leave
Do
this
we-
one intact, or do we want to bring this one down too?
That was my question. He kind of looks at Griveth with a raised eyebrow.
Drown just sort of steps aside, lets them have their.
As
way
far
with
as
all
going
their
to the
things.
next floor.
No,
Should we destroy it?
Oh, destroy it.
It's
Yes.
an altar to a pretty bad dude.
Smash it.
I'll let,
Pulverize it.
Forge Fane and Talmud, shall we together?
Aye.
Thank you, dwarven brethren.
An ill use of stone. He'll bring Gerta down on it.
Do you want rolls, or are we just?
no, it's easily smashed.
It's a mimic.
All right.
Well, downward we go.
To the depths, my friends. Gulthias can't run forever.
All right. Head on down to the next level.
How long did it take for them to investigate all that stuff before we got to the smashing part? Probably not an hour, huh?
No. I would have only
Okay.
been
Stops.
10 minutes, maybe.
Gotcha. Let's roll.
All right. You head down the spiral staircase that descend down into darkness. At the bottom of the stairs, you are... Let's see where you are. All right. At the bottom of the stairs, you find yourself in a room that is... similar to the same size room as what you had before, about 15-20 feet long. The stairs are at the back of it, so they're about 10 to 15 feet to a closed door. Rather mundane looking door.
I think Fig will open it this time.
Okay.
He'll give Talmud a break.
You open the door into a room that is 20 feet long and extends primarily to the west, which would be to your right. There is a bit of an alcove in the northwestern corner of this room. There's a door immediately to your left and another door on the western wall. So 20-foot long room, door immediately to your left, door further down to the right. Also to the right, there appears to be kind of tucked in the corner some kind of an alcove, about maybe 10 foot. You'd have to investigate further to see what's in there.
I think immediately Fig would just kind of waltz in. Talmud, this doesn't seem to be too difficult.
You're doing great, Fig.
As he walks in and turns towards that alcove.
Looking into the alcove, it's about 10 foot wide and about 12 feet deep. And there is an obsidian altar to a Chardalon in there.
Bulk.
What?
I said, did they get these things in bulk?
Oh, only Ulk came out. The rest of it cut out. I just heard Ulk.
I believe Ulk is Dwarvish for Ephesus idol.
I was gonna say speaking Dwarvish.
Or is that what these altars are called in the IKEA catalog? They ordered an entire shipment of Ulk altars to the Nightfang Spire.
I love the fact you can get like demonic altars at IKEA.
They'd have great names.
Lots of umlauts.
An IKEA catalog is a great resource for fantasy names.
It is. It is.
That's true.
All right. So, yes, there is another obsidian altar in this little alcove.
How many altars do they need?
Hello, Cult of the Dragon.
Anything else in this room?
Door to the west, door to the east.
Before I open the door to the west, I'm going to take Forge Fane into the altar.
All right. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw as you approach the altar.
There it is.
+3, +3.
Is this I saw it coming? Or was this total
Unless you
surprise?
followed him into the room, he wouldn't get the +3.
I did because I want to see this altar destroyed.
All right, then you need to make a dexterity saving throw as well.
Oh, crap. Okay.
So, again, was this a danger I saw or no?
Nope.
All right. Well, I failed. That's a 3. 6 if I get his bonus.
Okay.
Which either way, it's still a fail.
17.
Griveth, because Thorgarn is in front of you, there it is. Because Griveth, Thorgarn is in front of you, you're able to kind of pull back. But it takes all of your effort to kind of reel back as Thorgarn takes a step forward and immediately falls into the floor.
Oh.
Thorgarn,
Yes, sir.
you fall into a chute and begin sliding downward. You feel your flesh being ripped as you do so, as this chute is lined with razors.
Ooh.
You
Saw
fall
this
about
coming.
10 feet, and then the chute sort of levels partway, and you slam into and through a thin stone wall. And you find yourself careening downward on the outside of the tower, falling 120 feet.
Is there any way I could do a reaction to try to grab Thorgarn before he fell down the chute?
You would have used your reaction in making your save.
Oh, okay.
If you hadn't have gone in right behind him, you might have
Right.
been able to.
Okay.
Thorgarn,
Yes, sir.
you are going to take,
A crap ton of damage.
well, you're going to take 10 points of slashing for the razors.
Okay.
I don't think I got enough D6s out. I thought I did. Just in case. I can roll 2 more. I'm going to roll 12 D6.
Oh, hang on. I have to go get my D6 bucket for all this damage. Woo.
We hear a beep, beep.
There are a
beep.
lot. I'm not kidding. There are a lot of 6s and 5s in this roll.
Woo. It's like we're playing champions all of a sudden. So many D6s.
How many hit points do you have right now, Thorgarn?
86.
86?
It's fine. You can't possibly kill him with that.
Because that's always a question you want to hear the DM ask.
You know.
Another 58 points of bludgeoning damage as you slam into the semi-soft earth at the base of the tower on the exterior.
Really good roll.
All right, so I'm down to 18, and I am well away from the party.
And you all just saw, well, Griveth, actually, you're the only one that saw Thorgarn vanish into the floor. As soon as he's gone, the floor tile snaps back up.
Thorgarn!
You hear Griveth, all of you hear Griveth call out. And perhaps most notably, you do not hear the sound of Thorgarn's hammer smashing the altar.
Talmud would be running around the corner. Weapon,
Let's head,
weapon at the
head
ready.
that away.
Yep.
Griveth, you're the only one that saw what happened as they come running around to see what's going on.
Hey, I stumbled to the back wall, and I'm like, "We just lost Thorgarn.
What do you mean? Where did he go?
He fell down a pit
Where? He starts like
Just
looking
ahead-
for the floor.
just ahead of me in this room."
He's gonna be doing the same thing. He's gonna take Ghost Cleaver, take the haft of on the bottom of the haft, to kind of be poking out in front where Griveth has indicated.
Thorgarn saved me. He pushed me back.
Yeah, as you begin pushing
Damn
around,
you, Thorgarn!
you find the floor in front of the altar moves on a hinge.
Is it a weak enough hinge that I can push it open with the axe?
You have to push into it quite a bit to get it to open. Like pushing on it a little bit makes it move. To get it to open even further, you have to put some strength into it. But yeah, you can do it.
Well,
Can we smash it?
Certainly try. And I would say if Talmud wanted to with Gerta, I wouldn't make you roll for it. It would just take you a few minutes to break through this trap door.
I mean, we could just spike it open, right?
You could do that as well.
Waste time trying to smash it to pieces. We have to.
Yeah, I'm good with doing a pitting.
Mm-hmm. Good idea.
I'm sure
Do
somebody's
that.
got one from level 1.
I do.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. So I'll pull a piton and jam it into the spring or the hinges, and wedge it open.
All right. So you're able to kind of working with Talmud, holding it open, get in there and put that spike in there and block it. And you can now see that there is a metal chute that drops about 10 feet into a curve and continues to curve at an angle to the north. You see that there are razors lining the chute, and you see a trail and smear of blood. But you see no sign of Thorgarn.
To be fair, it's only a little bit of blood. 10 points of slashing damage. Not a big.
Most of it came out when he hit.
Yeah, most of the blood's at the foot of the tower. At
Right.
this point.
the rest of it's
Like-
with him. He keeps it in a nice pool.
Just dripping. Just a little
Scoop-
insult to
scooping it back-
injury.
scooping it back up.
Talmud's gonna like throw himself down on his stomach on the floor, like kind of right at the edge, and he's gonna look down inside the hole, and when he can't see past the bend, he's gonna call down in there, Thorgarn!
No answer.
I don't know if he's not answering because it's too far away, or if I'm going in.
Cantriel's gonna Cantriel's gonna send Verity out.
There we go.
before we lose
genius.
another dwarf.
Can we see light from the outside shining into the tunnel? down there?
Genius. Thorgarn! Do you
No.
hear us?
I was doing mental math for how many rests you've taken and what time of day it was. No.
Okay.
You do not see light coming in. So you're going to send Verde down in there? You said?
Yeah, send him like to fly out and around type of thing. Or down and around.
Verde flies down into the chute and is careful to avoid the razors. Flies flies about another 10 feet or so and encounters a stone wall.
Does he come back?
Yeah, he comes back.
Okay.
No, this is how I take your dragon away from you.
Don't take money of the dragon. Okay. Well, he has limited telepathy with other fairy dragons.
I think just the fact that he came back pretty much right away would give you the answer that he couldn't go any further.
Okay.
What did it find?
All
Not Thorgarn.
right. Do we have any way of getting down the chute without having to slide down it ourselves? I don't have any magic to allow me to levitate or fly or anything.
Oh.
I imagine Fig even says that even.
Yes.
Fig suddenly exclaims, "Oh!"
Oh.
His
I didn't
face
realize
like
I was
lights up.
unmuted.
The sound of a hard drive grinding.
Yeah, just
I
a
love
dial up you hear.
A modem.
I love that could happen and nobody in that world would know what that sound even is.
Right.
That's just what Fig sounds like.
Fig is just a construct variation of the wizard from the Sword and the Stone.
Cool.
Talking about Bermuda.
So Fig, you seemed rather excited about something.
Fig speaks up. I am able to levitate someone if they wanted to go down. Or I could.
If all you have is levitate, then it would probably be best for you to do it, since it would require you to control the elevation.
Right.
Before you go, Talmud's going to be like retrieving the rope off of the side of his pack and kind of like letting it uncoil on the floor. He's going to kind of hold it out as if like asking for permission before moving to tie it around Fig's waist.
Yeah, Fig nods. As he's kind of like, he's busy kind of looking at the hole itself, trying to look at the dimensions and how this is going to work.
While they're doing that, Drown will uncoil his rope and tie it to the end of the first one, just in case, because we're in a really tall tower. Who knows how far this hole goes?
All right, so
We'll tie all the ropes together.
You're making a daisy chain of ropes, tying them to Fig.
Mm-hmm.
And Fig is going to levitate. Is that what I understand?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so you're able to do this. Takes a few minutes of getting
Scooching along the ceiling.
getting everything situated, and then Fig, you cast your levitation. How long does it last?
10
10 minutes?
10 minutes. Yep.
So then I would imagine once the ropes are all strung together and fastened to you, then you cast it.
Fig, before you float away, how are you feeling?
I am not at my best at the moment.
Then maybe let's try and help out that little factor to make sure that you have a little bit more strength. And I'll do Cure Wounds. Let's do 4th level.
With the necrotic, is that still lowered my hit point until I can take a rest?
Yes, your
right? Yeah.
your hit point maximum stays reduced until you take a long rest.
Right. Yep.
Okay. All right. Let me roll. Okay. Oh, that's not bad.
Ted, I need you to roll a d10. Or sorry, d20.
So it's 28 hit points back.
Thank you.
Am I adding anything in this? It's just
Nope.
a straight roll. I have a 6.
Okay. I will tell you what that means if you survive.
If I survive, that's what I love hearing.
All right. So, Fig, you are healed up. You are turned into a metal balloon as you lower yourself down, and you have to sort of scoot yourself along the ceiling of this cylindrical chute. After about maybe an 8-foot drop and a 10-foot movement towards the north at an angle, you come to a dead end. You see a stone wall. Near the bottom of it, you see a splatter. The smear of blood ends, and a splatter of blood against the bottom of the door, but it seems as if there's an interruption in it. Like it's partially blocked by this wall piece.
So Fig is going to be like pushing against this wall then.
You don't have to push that hard, and it pushes outward. It's hinged at the top and functions as a flap.
Okay.
Pushing on it, you see that you are looking down the exterior of the tower at a height of about 120 feet. Looking down, you can actually, you wouldn't be able to. You have dark vision, correct? Or no, you don't have dark vision. So you can't see the bottom of the tower. It's shrouded in shadow because it is nighttime.
Okay. So Fig is going to pull as much. Fig is going to call up if he can, if they can hear him, what is happening.
If anything, they hear you better because of the tunnel.
You just hear this echo, hello, as Fig is telling them what is happening. So he's going to make the rope, pull the rope so that it's taut, so that he has as much rope as possible when the flap closes, so it doesn't kind of pinch him off. He's going to pull that and then start descending.
Does levitate say anything about speed at which you can levitate? I think it does.
Yes, it is. You can levitate, I believe, 20 feet per turn.
So that's 200 feet in a minute. No, okay, no problem. I just wanted to make sure you weren't going to run out of levitate before you reach the bottom. But no, you have plenty of time to sort of climb downward or use your levitation to lower yourself. And at that, we'll say that it took you about a minute to get through the tunnel and discover the door, pull all the rope in towards yourself. We'll say 3 minutes it takes you with the assist of levitation to get to the base of the tower. You're nearly to the base when you see Thorgarn lying at the bottom of the tower. Thorgarn, because of the severity and the distance you fell, you are unconscious, not like death saving throw unconscious.
Okay.
Well, or you know what? Let's have you make a con save.
I like that too.
And you're definitely far enough away from Griveth, you don't get the bonus.
Are you sure I'm not within 10 feet? All right. Well, I guess you were right. That's 12. So
okay. Yeah. Thorgarn is unconscious. Looks very bruised, battered, and broken, lying at the bottom of this tower. What are you gonna do?
Fig's gonna try to check if moving him at all is a bad idea.
Make a medicine check.
Okay. 21.
Looking Thorgarn over, you see that he is very badly wounded. You also see signs as you're checking him over that he may have internal injuries.
Okay. So, what Fig is going to do... So, he guesses that moving him is probably not the best idea.
I'd say with that medicine check, you think that the damage is done, and that you can probably safely move him without causing further injury.
Okay. So levitate lets you levitate a target that weighs up to 500 pounds. Would that be more than if Fig was carrying Thorgarn? Probably.
Well,
maybe. With all the stuff, maybe. I don't know.
How much does Fig weigh? Never supposed to ask a construct how much they weigh.
So the vessel, according to this, weighs 20 pounds. I don't know if Fig weighs 20 pounds though. I don't know. I would think with all the copper he would be pretty chunky. So probably yeah. I
figure Fig is probably got to be pushing around, being a Warforged, probably pushing around 200 to 250.
Yeah.
What's the average weight for a dwarf? I don't recall.
Not quite the same, but pretty close.
So.
Yeah, that doesn't include.
Roll 2d6.
D&D Beyond has me, pretty light on the weight.
You mean you're not a 1,200 pound dragonborn?
So Fig weighs 294 pounds.
Okay.
So then that's going to be a no, because even if you accepted that somehow my dwarf weighs 155 pounds, I have 160 pounds of gear.
Yeah.
Just a quick note in Eberron Rising from the Last War, the height and weight stuff is actually baked into the size in the Warforged traits.
All right. So
okay. So with that in mind, then, how far down is Fig from the door, the sliding
about 120 feet. 120 feet.
Okay.
At this point, another minute has gone by.
Okay, Fig is going to cast Dimension Door. But he has to estimate, because he can't see it.
You can visualize your destination?
Oh, perfect. Yes.
Yes,
yep,
you don't even have to see it. You can, and it's 500 feet, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yep. but I thought he was going to have to say like 100 and yeah. Okay, yeah, visualize. Cool. Okay. Then absolutely that's a no-brainer. He's going to dimension door with Thorgarn.
Hooray.
Yeah, so what does that look like, Fig, when you, a broken and bruised Thorgarn, and however much rope you all tied together, about 300 feet of rope, suddenly appears in the room?
I imagine that you guys are at the top. You're holding a quite taut rope because it's being held by the door, and then all of a sudden, the rope goes slack immediately, but then also behind you. And as you look, you see that Fig has kind of almost like, when like those like damsel in distress kind of like carrying Thorgarn in both hands, just comes out of a gear spinning portal, just walks out triumphantly, but then calls for help for Thorgarn. He is hurt quite badly.
Thorgarn
Talmud
and Fig
kind
suddenly
of looks
appear
at
in all your
the
midst.
Thorgarn Talmud kind of looks at the hole in the floor and then kind of back at Fig, kind of once or twice each, before he turns and kind of moves hurriedly towards Thorgarn to try to help lower him down onto the floor.
All right, so you lower Thorgarn. He's unconscious, broken and bleeding. At this point, Griveth, Drown, Cantriel, all of you can see Fig standing there, Talmud helping to lower Thorgarn. What are you going to do?
Drown will focus his attention just kind of watching down any other hallways, make sure nothing comes upon them while they're tending to Thorgarn.
You're in this entire room. There's 2 closed doors that you still haven't opened yet, so
you're just
going to kind of watch the doors.
Just stand alert, watching the doors. Just
Perfect.
make sure nothing jumps on us, because he can't help with broken dwarf.
Griveth kneels down next to Thorgarn, and seeing his broken and bruised body, and he's like, "My brother in arms, let me ease your suffering." And so he puts his gauntleted hands down on Thorgarn, and Griveth is actually thinking, like, I've never channeled this much before. Like, this is the first time I've ever channeled this much. So he's calling on Eldath, all his power, all his favor with Eldath, all his emotion to save his friend, who is just severely hurt. So he puts his hands on Thorgarn, and just his hands are glowing like Thorgarn. You see this nimbus of light around Thorgarn. You can actually hear the bones like pulling, going back into place. You see the wounds like knitting up, closing and knitting up. The color coming back into his face, and Griveth just kind of, as the final last bit of power, comes out of Griveth, he just kind of collapses on Thorgarn for a moment, not just like the emotion of like that much power coming through him, but just the physical raw power of his god, flowing directly through his body. And then he comes to and he sees that Thorgarn is okay, and Thorgarn gains 50 hit points. Brother, you're back.
As this magical energy courses into your body, Thorgarn, you find yourself you find your mind remembering standing near the exit to Kundrakar, where that bridge was, and you saw across to the ledge, and there appeared a waterfall, and you saw Eldath and Moradin, their aspects, standing watch over you right before Durgadin the Black showed up and began to talk to all of you. But in your mind, Durgadin doesn't show up. You just see Moradin, and you see Eldath, and you hear the rushing sound of the waterfall, and Eldath begins moving her lips, but it's Griveth's voice that you hear, when suddenly your eyes spring open, and that is where we are going to end tonight's session.
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
Talmud goes over to Thorgarn and he says, "That's why I go first."
And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Good end note. Good end note.
That is a good end note.
And I will let you decide. You can take inspiration, or I can grant you 2 domain dice for the quick thinking and the way in which you all went about rescuing Thorgarn from what should have been certain death, or at least separation.
Let's. You guys want to do inspiration? I mean, now do domain dice.
I think it was M's plan. I'd say let them decide.
Good point. That's a great point.
I'd like the idea of domain die.
Okay.
I think it's
I will give
nice
you.
to see it.
Yep. Whoops, I hit the wrong button. There you go. 2 domain dice in place of inspiration across the board, because that was very quick thinking, well thought out, well executed within the confines of what your capabilities were. With these traps, I mean, this is what you stepped in. This one, it's the third that you've encountered. And I worried that one of the dwarves, because I knew it was going to be one of the dwarves, was going to go through. And at this level, 12d6 isn't necessarily death, but dying at the bottom of a tower all alone is not a place you want to be. Just so you know, you did roll on. I had you roll on the lingering injury chart.
Okay.
You had acquired internal injuries, but they went away when you received magical healing.
Score?
But I like that when there's massive amounts of damage. I like the lingering injury table for that reason. Be thankful I didn't have the Iskloft lingering injury or brutal wounds tables at my hand.
I can be thankful for that.
Because Lloyd is a monster when it comes to brutal wounds tables. All right, well, that was session 8, and you made it at least to the bottom of the stairs, so my title stands. You're 3 floors down. Which
all
was
floors down for some of us.
Yeah, Thorgarn's gone all the way down and back up again. Thorgarn will have that memory of suddenly bursting through that slide wall and falling 120 feet. But we'll see how he deals with that in the future.
Not the first time I've fallen, over 100 feet and survived. So that's still pretty cool, but
no, that was really quick thinking because I mean, without Fig, I don't know what would have happened. I really don't. So all right. Well, that was Dawnbringers episode 8. Thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. Thank you for the subscriptions that came in and for the new followers. And just because I always want to be sure to say something, if you are watching this game and you just lurk in the chat, that is perfectly fine. We know you're there. Well, I know you're there. but I won't call you out. It's fine if you just want to linger and watch. We appreciate you. We appreciate you just being there. And I appreciate all of you being in the chat, and I love seeing the conversations going on. I look forward to playing with this group every week. This is a nice way to kind of promote. In most cases, for me, this is my last game of the week. So it's a nice way to round out the week. And I would rather... wait, I was going to say I would rather do it with anybody else, but that's not right. That's not what I wanted to say. There's nobody I would rather do this with than all of you. This is what happens when I'm trying to vamp a little bit. I've been trying to remember. Somewhere along the line, I forgot to do this. We've been raided quite a few times. I want to set us up to raid somebody. So I was trying to vamp while I looked to see who's out there playing D&D right now. And just see if there's anybody that we know, somebody that we could raid. But in the meantime, you just remember you can hit the exclamation point schedule in the chat, and you can see what our schedule is for all of our other shows. Jolt of Personality is done. We ended our nearly 3-year campaign last Sunday. It was an incredible experience to go from level 1 to level 15 and complete a module, to complete a campaign. It was something I have never done before. VODs of that last session are up here on Twitch. And over time, I will get those all loaded up to YouTube as well. But I highly recommend it. Taking a campaign all the way to its completion. It's such an amazing thing. Monday, that's what I was going to say. Monday, you can tune in for the next episode of Beards and Brushes to see Dwight and I, as we are just two amateur miniature painters doing our thing. Last week, we painted miniature versions of ourselves. We 3D printed ourselves in Hero Forge. No idea what we're going to be doing. I've got a handful of WizKids minis, the unpainted Nolzurs, quite a few of them actually. I'm thinking about painting the mimics because I love mimics. I mean, look, my miniature me has a miniature mimic in front of me that I still haven't named. So yeah, be sure to tune in for that. That's all I got. And we're gonna, oh, there we go. Why did I not notice this? That Unmade Gaming was live right now. They're probably gonna end soon, but we're gonna raid Unmade Gaming. I skipped right past them. So as I say, my final thank yous to everybody. Stick around. I'm gonna hit the raid button just as we close out the stream, and just give them some MTD love when we show up there at their game. So I do want to say that final thank you to Scotty, Dan, V, M, Ted, and Jeremy. And I don't know what just happened. Are you kidding me? I told you they were just about to end. Oh, we just got, yep. Thank you, Unmade Gaming, for the raid. We were literally just queuing up a raid to go raid you. I was seconds away from pressing the button to go raid you, so I don't know who to raid now. I'm going to pick the next person down on the list, and we'll do a raid. We'll just land in somebody else's channel, send them a few viewers, especially now that we have all these extra viewers. So thank you, Scotty, Dan, V, M, Ted, and Jeremy, without whom it would just be me talking to myself for 3 hours. With that, we are going to end the stream the same way we end every stream, and you can say it with me if you want. Matilda.
Matilda. Yep, Matilda.